Alright, we have come to the end of topic 1, and before I proceed to the next topic, so let us go back to what we have discussed in topic 1 just now. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, this topic highlights of the importance of communication. Yeah, its meaning and also the relationship between the message, the sender, and also the receiver. Okay, and also communication is defined as the giving and receiving and exchanging of information or ideas or thoughts. Okay, so that the message is completely understood by everybody. Now, communication also is a two-way process. Communication comprises the following elements, that is the sender, the message, the channel, the receiver, the feedback, and also the content. And in topic 1 also has discussed the barriers to effective communication, such as status, role, culture, yeah, the differences in communication channel, yeah, the length, the disabilities, the use of language, and the feedbacks as well. And there are 3 important stages when you want to produce good written communication, which is first planning, and then the writing itself, and also the editing. If you do not edit the writing, then you will get people fail to respond to you. Therefore, editing is much important in writing. And then what are the pitfalls to avoid written communication? Okay, so the pitfalls to avoid are using confusing language, alright, and then verbosity, and then your poor sentence structure, and also information overload. And remember, when you want to borrow any materials, remember to cite those, or else you can be accused of plagiarism. And sometimes people fail to respond to written forms of education because the message is not clear, the language is weak, and there is too much information. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the receiver of any written report should be able to understand the contents of the report. You must be able to understand the content of the report. You must know precisely what action to take, and you must know how to do it, and also what manner it should be done. So overall, it's as simple as you must know what to say, you must know what to write, and you must make sure that the receiver understands what you are trying to say. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we have covered topic 1, now it's time for us to go to the next topic, which is entitled Communication Models, a Theoretical Perspective. Now, before we go further, let us see what are the learning objectives. Now, by the end of this topic, all of you should be able to identify important elements in the communication process. The next one will be, you'll be able to describe 4 models of communication. And last but not least, explain the significance of the roles of signs, symbols, and metaphors to meaning and interpretation. Next, with the first model. It is called Claude Shannon's model. As you can see in this slide, you can see 3 arrows going this way, where it started off with source, channel, and receiver. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this diagram shows that information, yeah, is transmitted from an information source, okay, through a channel to the receiver. This diagram, ladies and gentlemen, also emphasizes that encoding of information to be transmitted, encoding of information to be transmitted to the decoding of received information. It also indicates the effort of noise, Okay, this model indicates the effect of noise on the channel, okay, through which the explanation is transmitted to the receiver. But this model, ladies and gentlemen, it overlooks the motives of both the sender and also the receiver. So we have reasons to write, am I right? Okay, we must also have reasons to read. Why do we read? Why do we write? Therefore, this model does not take the reasons into account. Alright, so remember, this model does not take motives of both the sender and receiver into account, because this model does not look why people have to write, why people have to read. But this model is important to know, okay, because this person actually do a research on written communication process. Okay, the next model is called the Roman Jacobson's model. As you can see, this diagram shows the writer, the reader, and has a few elements here: context, contact, code, and message. Now, students, this model represents spoken rather than written, but it is also it is often applied to writing as well. This model helps to chart the purpose of a piece of writing according to which part of the model a purpose relates to. If you can see this contact here, all right, this contact here is your medium of communication. The contact can something as simple as a poster on the wall, or something much more complex. Okay, if the writer decides to write something using the internet or through the internet, then therefore this contact here will be more complex, because the internet involves servers, satellites, or cables, or other sophisticated technology. Now, what about the code? The code here means the language you write in. If the writer uses the same code to write as the reader, then the communication is more simpler. But if the writer decides to use a code which the reader does not understand, then it will be a little bit more complex. For example, if the writer is using Arabic symbols to write, whereby the reader does not know how to read Arabic, then it will be quite more complex here. Okay. Roman Jacobson also took a little bit of Shannon's model, but ladies and gentlemen, his model still fails to take into account that learning that goes into communication and the recursiveness in writing and reading. So therefore, Roman decided to simplify this diagram into this. As you can see, the triangle here. All right. So, Roman decides to simplify his version, whereby a diagram as a triangle with writer, reader, and text as the angles here. Now, students, the next model is by Ulrich Nieser. If you combine this model with Jacobs and Shannon, you will find that this model is especially relevant in written communication, and it also discusses the writing process. Students, we write guided by our ideas, needs, beliefs, images of the world, and also our motivations. And as we write, we explore, we discover, and we learn. The information we produce triggers us to start thinking of new ideas. These new ideas will then influence our beliefs, influence our needs, affects images of the world, and also affects our motivations. And so, the exploration cycle begins again. So therefore, like I said, if you combine this with the two other models before this, you will come up with a rather good picture of the writing process, which now we can see as motivated, exploratory, and recursive.